First of all, an apology. Along with many other Tory MPs, I stood in 2010 on a manifesto to cut migration to the tens of thousands. We have failed, and it is now cumulatively in the millions. The Office for National Statistics recorded a record-breaking figure of 606,000 for net migration in 2022. But the reality is worse. The 2022 figure has been revised upwards to an even more unsustainable 745,000. That's an addition of 139,000 people that the government hasn't accounted for. The Home Secretary today suggested that he remains completely committed to reducing levels of legal migration. Figures from the ONS show that in 2 years, over 1.4 million people have entered the country net, with today's provisional figure for 2023 even higher than the provisional figure for 2022. These statistics suggest that the population of England and Wales is growing at its fastest rate since 1962. According to YouGov, British people believe that immigration is one of the top 3 most important issues facing this country, and it has profound economic and social consequences. Economically, GDP per capita, that is the amount on average we individually contribute, is falling this year and growing more slowly in future years than GDP itself because of this increase in the population. The per capita bit is going up in terms of the ratio. In spite of this, last month, Home Office forecasts predicted that foreign worker visas for skilled jobs will double within the next 5 years. And we need to look at who is coming here. In the health and social care sector, for example, 282,742 visas were issued in the year to June. Over half, 151,774 of those, were to dependents. In addition, 378,000 foreign students came into the UK, of whom 136,000 were dependents. But what about our own labour force? There are 1.27 million unemployed and 5 million on out-of-work benefits, who surely we should be trying to bring back into the workforce. We don't need more immigration to fill our labour market. We have millions of people who could, and indeed should, be filling these jobs. But the system militates against them because in shortage occupations, domestic wages may be undercut by 20% for immigrant labour, making our own poor poorer and giving industries an incentive to say that there are shortages because it's a route to cutting their costs. And I'm afraid it doesn't seem to me as if the government is taking this as seriously as it ought to. It's much easier to deal with legal migration than it is to deal with the much smaller number of illegal crossings in small boats. There are no human rights considerations. It can be done by administrative action. What is currently happening is, I'm afraid, frankly, embarrassing. Of course, I want to hear from you, mailmog@gbnews.com.